Sorry about that. So part 3. Anyway, as I was saying, when you go over to Desmos, you can basically use these equation forms as I have them written here. But the only thing that will change, as you saw with the exponential, was that you'll have the y sub 1, which you just literally have to type y1, and it automatically makes it a subscript. It's great. And then you have this tilde instead of equals. And then the other side of the equation with x1 instead of x. So for example, we have all these different forms. Let's say maybe I saw that data and I'm like, oh, maybe it's cubic. So I'm going to go ahead and try and use a cubic model to predict it. So let's go over here and we will just click in a new thing. And we can go ahead and start typing this in. So we'll have y1, and then we'll do tilde, and then we'll have the a times, you gotta do shift 8, times x1 raised to the, and it's gonna be a cube for the cubic, and then you move to the next one. So you gotta hit the right arrow to move that out of the power position, and then plus, we will have b times x1 raised to the second power, and then right arrow to get out of there, and then plus c times x1, and then plus d. And notice when it does this, you get this little information that tells you the A, B, C, and D. So you just pick the right model. Now this is a great example of, if you're just going by R squared and not by the look of the data, you might think, oh, this thing fits cubic really well. However, if you just turn these off here, you can see that the data doesn't have that little thing that goes down. So you would not want to use cubic necessarily for this for larger values of x. There is no little piece of data that goes down into the negatives. And in fact, it wouldn't make sense to have negative M&Ms being returned at different times. So even though the R squared for the cubic is great, fits the data almost perfectly actually, you get to a point where it's like, now it's, as a predictor, that's going to be terrible. So I hope that this part 3 here helps you understand that any of those models, you can just, instead of putting in just y and x, you put in y1, x1, and instead of equals, you put a tilde, and then you can start looking and seeing, are they good for my data set? Are they not? And in this case, the one that is actually better is your exponential. And anytime they give you an option for log mode, you want to use it in Desmos. And it's the only place where I've seen log mode. It's in Desmos. It's weird. But anyway, that'll be the end of part 3. If you have questions about anything we did, please ask.